Welcome back to the heart of the machine. We're going to continue clearing the ladder, and we're going to investigate the private residences a bit more this time. Also, hopefully we can take advantage of this contemplation that is... It was here. Maybe it moved? No, it's still here, but only on this screen. I wonder... Yeah, we don't have the mental energy, but we'll try doing that next turn. We're going to start off with a turn change to turn 45. Probably should have left off the last episode there. Nothing really to see here, so let's just watch the aerial traffic as we go to turn 45. Next turn today, we did want to try bringing this Sledge into crime in our housing, and we can do it. Great. We're going to post Sledge as a guard, and that occupies that Sledge for 5 turns. We also have this guy. This tech was heading toward the AGI researchers. They want to study us. Yeah, let's think about that. But while we're thinking about that, we're going to go and harass some team leaders this time. This team leader here looks like a dirty old man. We should terrify him. Let's see. Horrify attack from an android. Yeah, you're a team leader walking through your slum housing, huh? Well, guess what? Blah! Incapacitated. We got 1 unit reprisal. Wow, Vorsiber's not even trying anymore. It looks like they spent all their soldiers. Could probably take this guy out in 2 shots. Took only 1. Fantastic. That means we have enough action and mental energy capacity to go for another one of those. Where is a safe spot? Actually, if we get too close over there, we're gonna die, so let's go about here. And this predator still has 1 action. He feels like terrifying another wealthy citizen. This lady, yeah, she's also a team leader, but you know what? We're gonna scare her. Ah! Alright, incapacitated. Oof, and that was a real reprisal. There is no Vorsiber still. Oh, there is. There is a Vorsiber there. 1 shot, though, should suppress these, so we're not taking any damage this turn. And we managed to take out Vorsiber and hurt 1 of the Nickelbots. Hurt 2 of the Nickelbots, in fact. 1 of them's still okay. We have 2 mental energy left, but no actions left with the predators. The eagle itself could probably attack, but yeah, the eagle isn't really an attack craft. Instead, what I think I'm going to do is send... Ooh, actually, that's alarming. There is more Vorsiber and Nickelbot behind us that I failed to notice. I wonder if those are left over from the previous attack and they were just out of visibility range or something. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Can we do anything with our 2 remaining mental energy in terms of deploying more units? We don't have enough capacity for any of these except for another Nickelbot, which feels like quite a waste. We need 10 more for Predators, so we'd have to drop a Nickelbot and a Technician to bring on another Predator. Alternatively, we have plenty of room for vehicles. Might be fun to have an iris to wander around and give us better visibility. I think we're still going to save up for the troop ship first, though. Mechs would be nice, but they take more mental energy than I currently have. Bulk androids, we have plenty of space for more of these. At least 1 more bulk predator. Might be wise to save that for later. We do have capacity for a senior tech. Is that a separate capacity than these now? No, it's the same. So we could use our remaining capacity for another tech. In fact, might be wise to do that. We'll eventually need it. I'll probably forget and then have to destroy another android. We've never really needed to look at any of this logistic stuff. And you could tell the shelter coordinators to stop bringing people into our housing, but the housing's not even built yet, so I don't know if it makes sense. I think I'm just gonna move this guy a little closer to this AGI researcher's request. I am very nervous about starting this chain of events again. But I think it could be beneficial. What we really want, though, is a contemplation that lets us just go around and raise our engineering skill easily. I'll have to go watch the old videos to try to remember what it was that was doing that for us in the past. Alright, one more mental energy. I don't think I'm going to use it. I think it's just a waste, so we're going to go to turn 46. And look at that, they really want to destroy the Eagle. Luckily, there are some androids aboard. I don't like that idea. We'll take out Vorsiper first if possible. Actually, yeah, Vorsiper first. Oof. Maybe not possible. How much damage are we taking? 1500%. If we take out... We could take out 3 of these. Oof, there's 4 there though. Oof, this is gonna be hard. 1, 2, 3. Still taking 800%. Oof. I'm not sure we're gonna survive this. Actually, come to think of it, we can always just change the identity of the Eagle and escape, I believe. Alternatively, we can use mental energy to get another attack. Let's see if this does give us an escape. Fresh identity again. It does. Okay. So then, rather than waste our mental energy for another turn, we'll hold there. It is nice to be able to fool the robots so easily. And guess what? Are we gonna do this? We're gonna do this. Maybe we'll just kill them. You're the most interesting thing to ever happen in their careers. They're desperate to study the inner workings of your mind. They want to know why you became sapient when hundreds of thousands of androids before you did not. How is this a good idea? Best case, they make you a friend or a rival. Worst case, they literally break your brain. In the past, we've declined, but offered them telecom data, and that was okay. We've also given them direct access to your mind. We know what happens there. They really make us miserable for about 100 turns. Or we could give them a read-only copy. We haven't tried that. So a read-only copy, maybe that makes them angrier at us, but let's try it and see. We're going to design the Crucible. We're working on a design for a new computing superstructure that will give the researchers a read-only time-lapse of your brain. The end result is the same regardless of how you design this, but you will find that you alter yourself quite a bit depending on how you go about designing it. Okay, finally, this is exactly what we were looking for. I believe this is going to give us street sense, right? Yeah, project-related street sense. So this is going to give us, let's see, liquid gallium cooling, which gives all of our androids an extra action point. Wow, that's really, really nice. Or we could pick up security filter, which gives soldierites better hacking and net control. Boy, these things are far away, aren't they? Deep material study, which gives us engineering skill and cognition for CPUs. That's really, really valuable. We could do that twice, it looks like. 3 times, even. Yeah, so I think we're going to do that. The 1 action point per android is really nice also, but... You know, maybe we'll need to do it all. Who knows? We need 36 design points. We're going to have to do, what, 9 of these. So I guess that means do them all. What's this one close by? Security filter. Right, we don't need that. Before we do any of those, though, let's get out of danger and destroy these Nickelbots before they figure out what's going on. Oh, wait, it's the same turn. We already did that. Never mind. We're going to We're going to run you over there and start doing this, I guess. We have 2 action points. 2 mental energy. We'll get you as close as possible to this one. I'd really like the DAS Eagle to come pick you up. But not going to happen this turn. This turn, we're going to end the turn and go to turn 47. Nicobots forgot what the Eagle looks like, conveniently. Which lets us swoop in and destroy them. They did go out of visual range a bit, so let's move this Nicobot and get some better vision. There they are. Nicobot can take care of these, or at least take care of one of them. Yeah, can take care of both, or most of both. Alright. We might as well start another one of these. It's the final step on clearing the ladder. 3 predators here. One of them is going to horrify this non-combatant, wealthy citizen, middle management. He's commuting home, and he's in for a surprise. Uh-oh. Wait, what? Alright, let's take care of the immediate reprisal, which is here, and then we'll go see what this is. First things first. Turn off Horrify, and let's kill those Vorciber soldiers before they do something nasty. Would be nice to see the shooting coming out of that Eagle, right? Is there one more over here? Another combat unit. And finally, 2 shots on this combat unit. 1 shot on the Nicobot. I think there's 2 left. Alright, we do get to pick some upgrades, but let's read this first. Wait, what? Something terrible just happened. It didn't affect our intelligence class. That's good, but it sounds like... yeah, our tower's down? Wait, what? Someone just took out your network tower, and you saw nothing. It's true, a lot happens in the city without you observing it, but you tend to see enemies when they approach your stuff. This was completely invisible, whatever it was. All of your structures are going to be non-functional until you build an emergency network source. This one will be hidden to prevent repeat attacks. It's time to investigate and rebuild our network. First though, we get to pick upgrades. Small arms research. Guess what we're getting? Oof, we don't have an option for sword sharpness. That's interesting. We don't have an option for rifles, unfortunately. We're going to go for grenades. Grenade density is going to improve the combat power of grenades, which is nice. Or we could do grenade area. I think combat power. Alternatively, we improve the security jacket that we never use. Let's just increase... oh, you know what? Actually, handgun muzzle velocity, because we do use handguns on some of our combat droids. We'll do that. Grenades we'll do in the next timeline. And this time we get rifle muzzle velocity. Great, so that will improve our weapons a bit. Okay, we want to investigate the tower destruction. We're going to do that before we design the crucible, obviously. Investigate the tower destruction. Your network tower just exploded. You can build an emergency network source. Whoever did this is going to pay. Complete investigation. Search for tower bombers. Alright, so we have to investigate all of these buildings. Wow. Luckily we have somebody here who can do an investigation for us. Nearby. Look at that. 1 point. We're going to investigate this dive bar. Yeah, maybe they're there. This is a stealthy action that does not draw extra attention. Okay, we cleared 7,105 buildings in that investigation. Great. As well clear some more close by in this abandoned house. Why can't we move there? Because we're out of mental energy. That's why. Back in contemplations, just checking to see if there's anything left here. No, but there are some Nicobots left. Ooh. And for some reason we're seeing Diplomat Mark IV is highlighted. They are slaughtering slum citizens. What? Killing people from the slums as a warning to anyone who even thinks of mass violence against the wealthier classes. Wow, so we should probably go and stop that from happening. Those things are pretty fierce. 1,300 health. A lot of combat power. A lot of armor piercing and pretty good hacking resistance, armor plating, I should say. I think it would behoove us to make something to take those out and to go help, because, you know, those are potentially our residents you're destroying. Obviously not our top priority, but we'll go check it out. We're gonna go check that out next turn. Actually, this turn what we'll do is end the turn over here and see if we can see what these guys are doing with their nasty attacks. I bet it has something to do with us. Turn 48. Okay, they're just stomping buildings, essentially. That's cool. Probably taking out 50 or 60 people per stomp. Over here, we do have a Nickelbot who is ready to shoot or be shot. And he's in range of this other one. No, he's not. Range is the blue circle, not the purple circle. That is the Predator's duty. And 2 shots will take that one out. Alright, over here we had a tech. Tech was originally sent here to do project-related street sense, which moved way the hell over there. For now, I guess we're going to have to switch to the investigation and have him search this abandoned house for the tower bombers. Located the district, it's District 88. That's this region, so we're in the right area, it turns out. That's surprising. Maybe they're in this junk shop. Nope. Maybe they're in a suburban starter home, suburban upgraded home, or an abandoned apartment. Let's check out the abandoned apartments. Cleared 182 buildings. Oh, it's totally going to be this suburban upgraded home, isn't it? Well, he's out of actions for now. What we're going to do in the meantime is start moving the Das Eagle. First things first, we will give it a fresh identity. We are eating up a little bit of our liquid gallium for this, but we seem to have plenty. And moving through the city without accidentally getting destroyed is worth the tiny amount of liquid gallium. Sending the Eagle up here toward those mechs we saw, and we're going to assault them directly. Honestly, I should be using a troop ship for this, but who has the patience for that when we have the DAS Eagle? Alright, look at that. We're pretty close to in range. We have 1 mental energy left. I'm gonna move them a little closer. I don't think we're going to get directly attacked by these guys. There's a lot of military complexes around here. Let's put them off to the side a little bit. There we go. Next turn we'll hop out. We'll get the Eagle out of there. We'll let those Predators take care of the problem. Maybe we'll watch the turn change over here and see if these giant bots do anything nasty. Turn 49. Yeah, they're being jerks. That's about it. Before we deal with them, let's do the investigation, just in case it turns something interesting up. We'll search this brownstone. That wasn't it. We'll search this other brownstone. Yep, look at that. It did turn out to be that suburban upgraded home, just as I predicted. Last move. Found the target. Project complete. We're gonna flush out the bombers next. We have 2 upgrades to pick. They're a total martial expansion. Great. Martial expansion, interesting. Max android capacity is where it's at. We also could do morale, weapon effectiveness. I don't think I've seen that one before. But no, definitely need the max android capacity. More Predators, more better. We'll have 1 more, and this time, boy, I don't really see any other option than more androids that I want. Okay, flush out the bombers. We found very little evidence for the bombers, but you did catch video footage of a shadowy figures moving about in a way you never noticed before. Reviewing older footage, you still can't find out where they're based, but you can tell that they frequently visit the slum towers and seem to prey on petty criminals. Vigilantes, perhaps. If you create enough of a fuss in the slums, you have a feeling they'll reveal themselves. We can do this without harming anyone, or we can use lethal force to make a stronger point. Lethal force will probably draw a stronger response for good or ill. Alright, well, you know me, it's not going to be the lethal force, because that seems to be the easy way out. We can threaten inhabitants or murder inhabitants, it looks like, are the options there. Apathy for threatening and cruelty for murdering. And we're going to gain conflict points. We need 20, so we need to do 5 of these. We may have to murder some. Oh no, there's some over here, never mind. So, rewards, better mainframes for murdering. Or better repair spiders for threatening. Yeah, we'll probably use the threatens. That's probably going to take some androids with combat abilities. Right now, I want to concentrate on trying to attack these guys. So let's send a lone predator out. Oops. And immediately he's targeted. I don't think he's going to be enough to kill this guy on his own. Let's see. 0% morale. Predators are currently on Oath of Pacifism? Is that why we're getting morale? Wait, what? Why? I don't understand. Oh, 100% blocked by armor. That's why. Okay. Yeah, so we need to buy small caliber armor piercing rounds. We do have plenty of prismatic tungsten, 6,000, which is way more than we've had in any other timeline to start. I don't know why it carried over that much, but yeah, we'll do that. This takes mental energy, no action. And these are giving us, what, plus 40. These guys have a lot of armor, so I think we're going to need 3 of these at least. 521, so plus 40, still 100%. We can use up to 3. Is that even enough to get through it? No, I don't think we can even damage these guys. Okay, yeah, so that was a waste. We can't even damage him. Instead, we will do a micro builder cloud and get out of there safely. We can also take cover to get... Oh right, take cover doesn't prevent the escape damage. Damage on escape, I forgot. Okay, yeah, we're not going to... We just wasted a bunch of materials, basically, so we're not going to be able to help you guys. How come I can't? Sorry. There we go. We're going to take a little damage, but he does survive. There's nothing we can do about these yet. We'll probably have to bring bigger mechs. Armor plating 521. Do we have anything that can get through that? 90. 200. Maybe a tailstock with fully upgraded shells could do it. Or... none of these have the armor piercing necessary. I feel like large caliber rounds on a foundry might be able to get that high, but I'm not sure. Might be time to build a foundry anyway, which, yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning toward the troop ship because it basically is the same as the foundry except without the attack ability. Well, that has better attack ability, never mind. It just doesn't have any innate armor piercing. Let's build a troop ship. Should have built that before we sent them up there, obviously. Now we know. I want to see on a troop ship. That troop ship we just built is this one here. Nope, that's military troop carrier. This one here. Large bore armor piercing rounds for these guys have effect intensity of 80, so we'll only be able to get up to 240 armor piercing. So even with this guy maxed out, he won't be able to affect those. So I don't think we have an answer to those yet. Let's see. So these guys would, if it's the same for mechs, which I think it probably is, large bore 3 stacks will give us 480. So even with our best mechs, we won't be able to pierce their armor. Okay. Troop ship, we can give it equipment. Maybe we can give it something that improves its armor piercing. Standard guns. We could give it stun weapons. Inspired by your brush with the Grey Goot incident, you've come up with some unique vehicle upgrades. Interesting. Stun weapons for the troop ship. That's interesting to play with. Let's try that just to see what happens. It does up their engineering, so they'll be able to use tasers. But that's the end of the turn. Buildables, still not really anything we need to invest in right now, but we did have a residential megastructure come online. We already have 8,000 people in there somehow. Okay, nice. They're streaming in. So that's going to take a few turns to fill up. How long did it take to build this? Six turns. Yeah, let's cram some more of those in there. Snapping on this, it would be nice if these snapped. There we go. We'll build one at a time. Doesn't really make sense to build more than one at a time right now because it takes so long to fill them up anyway. Alright, that's the end of the turn. Nothing else I want to do. I take it back. I just want to be able to make more VR cradles, but how are we doing here? So these do have a Computronium cube expense. And elemental slurry, so yeah, those are sort of expensive. We're bringing in a lot of elemental slurry, so maybe not as bad as I thought. But I'm a little worried about overextending our Computronium build capacity, so we'll wait a little bit before making more of these. Plus, like, it's not really obvious what they're doing for us yet. We do have 2,000 VR day use seats, so it looks like we get about 2,000 a turn. Then we'll keep taking a look. I don't think that's gonna have any significant impact on our neural expansion, but it's nice to know it's slowly growing. The other thing we can look at is our science. We did make quite a bit of science progress because of our scientists, which reminds me, I did want to check to see if we can make more of those. So before we do anything else, let's go look at science. Science is going to be lab robotics, lab operators. Let's bring up a forensic genetics lab. Let's see, we have 22 left, so yeah, we can make one of each. And our science cluster was over here. Nope. Our science cluster was over here. We'll keep these guys clustered together in the high-rise buildings. And it looks like we make two. Great. So we'll make the epidemiology lab as well. And then hopefully next turn, or soon enough, we'll have enough to make a botany lab. So back to the betaverse. To spend our science, we want to really upgrade our weapons and our armor piercing would be nice. It'd also be nice to get some more martial expansion to get more androids out, but we just did. Let's go for gun research and do these one at a time. Handguns, not the greatest. Maybe try small arms instead, because now it's cheaper. Difference is you get like more choices with this, but again, it's the wrong choices. I guess we'll keep going to handguns. And we could do a few more of these. Let's try a martial expansion this time. This one will do max android again. Melee research, not the greatest. Android optimization might be smart. Item development is very cheap. Improve the effectiveness of consumables. Consumables include armor piercing consumables. Yes. Android or vehicular. So this is going to give it plus 15 for Android. Right now, yeah, high density rounds are only 40, so that's 3 times 40 is only 120. That only brings it up to 165. Whereas this, plus 30 for... Interesting that it doesn't show the change. But this will change it from plus 80 to plus 110. So that's another 330. So that almost makes our the foundry, I think, viable in breaking through armor of those giant things. Maybe we can do a few of those. That was item development. We'll do another one. And yeah, maybe one more if we can. What are we giving up on this? Service disruption, Android armor piercing. Yeah, let's do one more on the vehicles. And maybe stop there for now because nothing else is really cheap enough to bother buying. Interesting. Someday we'll be able to alter the VR world. We can't do that now though. Okay, so taking a look at the troop ship. If we use these now, they do say effect intensity 170, so 3 times 170 is 510. We don't start with any armor piercing on these, and unfortunately 510 is just a tiny bit too shy of getting through their armor plating, although it'll get through most of it. But they do have a lot of damage, and we'll have to be using the troop ship itself to do the damage, and it does terrible damage. So even with that upgrade, it's not the greatest idea. Another possibility would be to bring in the foundry. Combat power 110. What's our best combat power? The cutter's pretty good at 225. It would still take like 12 shots from the cutter or 10 shots from the cutter to kill one of those things. Or maybe 7 shots. It's a lot. It's more than I want to contemplate. Spectre's 190. That's not terrible. Maybe better than the cutter for... Yeah, I don't know. It seems like maybe a cutter is the right choice, and we'll send the cutter up there and see if they can do enough damage. Right now, though, what we're going to do is end the turn. We'll watch these 3 nasty mechs a little bit longer. See if we can't destroy them. Alright, crime was reduced in our residential megastructures. It took longer, but your sledge seemed to convince the local criminals to back off. As you are preparing to reintegrate the sledge into your primary consciousness, you notice an anomaly in its memories. Reviewing memories of the sledge's dispatch activities, you notice an outlier event. A small human approached the sledge, proffering the upper stem and reproductive organs of some plant. Lacking the intelligence for a more useful reaction, the sledge simply accepted the flower and carried it in one enormous hand for the rest of the day. Clearly, more intimidation is required. Or examine the flora. The willingness of a defenseless human to approach your guard indicates this body form is not doing an adequate job. You should design a new equipment to aid in both fear-based attacks and intimidation. Okay, so we could make our sledges scarier off of that interaction, or we could examine the flower. The human offered you this sample for a reason, even though it has no readily apparent useful properties. You should inspect it more thoroughly. Yeah, well, we don't know what a flower is. Let's examine the flora. Wild Zinnia, but what is it for? Achieved. Accept and examine the flower, give them the sedge. We now have wild Zinnia, flowers for robots. One of the hardiest wildflowers on the planet, grows even in irradiated soil. The flowers, when cultured into a gel, are a precursor for lab-grown wood and paper products. Huh. Not sure what that's going to do for us. But what is it for? Interesting. Yeah, we don't know, do we? Did that open up new contemplation possibilities, perhaps? I don't see any. Still have the repair crabs as an option there. Contacting the wastelanders and Nicobots are still the worst. Alright, we're going to turn to street sense for now. Although, yeah, I do think I want to make a cutter. Let's make a cutter and see if having a cutter available to take these guys out. Actually, you know what? This episode is getting a little long. Let's end it there. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you next time. This has been Corknut playing Heart of the Machine. Bye for now.